Welcome to the Pelias Podcast, Renewing the City, where we discuss all things dreaming, planning, and commercial real estate right here in Athens, Georgia. I'm your host, Paul Taylor Smith. Thanks so much for tuning in. Funny enough, the Gunnar Stockton moment of the kneeling it on the 1 yard line made me his name, Gunnar. When I learned that our quarterback was going to be named Gunnar, I was like, oh, we're going to score every point in every game. Yeah. He's going to be so strong, so mighty. And here we are, Florida Gators, 20-24. We're going to put them away, nail in the coffin, go up by 7. And he kneels it out on the 1 yard line. And I just went, man, that is so awesome. It was just so crazy to see such discipline and humility in a moment where he knees it out, he does the right thing, he obeys his coach, and even though I wanted him to ram it in, it was a really cool moment to watch him do the right thing.
No doubt.
I was thinking a lot about that, thinking about his name, and today we're talking about what's in a name, and it's super important what's in a name. I've in preparation been thinking about your name, the name David, and you may not know this, but David actually means beloved, and it also means favorite. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. Your name actually means something that when you're feeling kind of like you've lost your way, you can look back and be reminded that you are loved and that you are favored. And my name, funny enough, the thing, my vice that I've struggled with probably most throughout my entire life has been this sneaky thing called pride, which produces this desire for control and achievement and all these things, which not all of those are bad, but I can get lost in pride in a hurry. And I think back to what my parents named me. They probably didn't even know that they were naming me for this reason, but Paul means humble one. Yeah. And I've been in situations in my life where I'm feeling this pride hill, and I have to look back at why I was named what I was named. And I'm actually meant to walk through this life as a humble man. So that reminder is incredible. But we're not here to talk about David or Paul. We're here to talk about Pelias. Yeah. And
I'm sure this is going to get edited out, but this story instantly comes to mind, and I don't know why I didn't think about this before. But when my brother and I were growing up, at some point my mom told me that had my younger brother been a girl, they planned to name her Georgiana. And so there was nothing I could do that would push his buttons anymore than when things heated up, start calling him Georgiana, and boy, the fists would start flying. And so there is power in the name for sure.
Well,
good or bad.
Tommy, if you're listening, hello, Georgiana. You are looking pretty today, and I love you. Pelias. Yes. Pelias. I actually first heard that term when we were walking around your lake on your farm in 2020 talking about commercial real estate, and I actually had no interest in commercial real estate. I spent 15 years in full-time ministry, but you asked me to walk around your lake with you, and toward the tail end of that conversation, you said, hey, I actually named our company Pelias for a reason, and that reason struck me so deeply that it kind of started this past 5-year journey of walking alongside you with Pelias. And so I'd love for you to share a little more about the why behind the what's in a name, Pelias, and why you named this company that name.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I don't know what it is about me, but I cannot undertake an endeavor without really thinking long and hard about what am I doing? I really cannot get off the starting blocks. So when I decided to form this company back in 2019, I obsessed for weeks on what are we going to be called? And I literally couldn't get any other work done until I settled on a name. And I think for me, what I was trying to articulate was I wanted something that, as briefly as possible, said, what is the mission of the company, and what's more brief than a one-word, name. So I knew at the time that this was going to be a season of focus for me. Having worked out of town on a lot of real estate projects, this was going to be a deliberate, intentional commitment to working only in town in Athens, Georgia, the community that I live in and love. And the idea was to kind of take these skill sets that I'd learned working out of town and hopefully renovate some places and make things better in our own town. So I started thinking, is there a name that could communicate that? That's a big topic. It's kind of a lot to try to bring into a name. And oddly enough,
no pressure.
Right. Oddly enough, as I started reading about Athens, and our town is named because of the hills of Athens, Georgia, were named for Athens, Greece, and started reading about Greece and Athens specifically. And Athena Polias was the Greek goddess, the protector of Athens, Greece. And I thought, wow, that's it's quite a calling. I don't know that we're going to live up to quite that level of stature. But what really sold me on it was that word Polias was a slight deviation of the word polis, which means city in Greek. So it's almost like her name is Athena, and Polias is kind of her title, her job description as the protector of Athens. And so felt like a perfect name for what we were going to aspire to do.
Yeah. And I remember, specifically when you said we're not here to just build buildings or design projects. We're here to protect and curate the city that we all love, the city that you lived in for 30 years while doing all these out-of-town real estate projects. And I went, oh my gosh, like that, just that name alone is enough of a compelling vision for me to go, all right, I don't know anything about anything, but I'm in. And that has served true over the last several years as I've gotten to, sprinkle in, sharing with different people that we meet along the way in this process, just the meaning behind the name of why we're here.
Yeah.
So
I think it's really interesting when you have a name that doesn't really have a meaning that people already know. They either want to ask you what it means, which we get asked all the time. Or over time, as people observe what you do, they begin to assign meaning to it.
Yeah.
And so I think there's different situations with different groups of people in town. I hope that through our actions, people who don't know what Polias means are starting to ascribe those intentions to the name Polias and that meaning to the brand.
Yeah.
But it has worked as a very great on-ramp to as we meet with people and they say, hey, by the way, what does Polias mean? Gives us a very authentic, genuine opportunity to talk about mission and the why in a conversational way that, I feel like is very inviting.
Yeah, well, something that I was digging into because over the last 5 years, I've actually been trying to wrap on the why behind the what in that name. And Athena Polias was known for wisdom and warfare. And the wild thing is that we have no ability to step into this city and this marketplace and be lukewarm or be confused on why we're here. As you know, the second law of thermodynamics says that things trend toward disorder, not toward order. And we want to be the ones helping drive things toward beauty and order and a sacred quality for why we're here in this city. And something that really struck me as that Athena Polias was revered as less of a deity and more of a patron. And if you look up what a patron means, it simply means a supporter or a servant of a mission. Right. And at Polias, we have a core belief here that the greatest among us will become like servants and supporters. Right. And if we don't have the humility to serve from a lowly place or the back of the line, then we don't have what it takes to be leaders in this town either.
Right.
So that's made a real impact on me in the position that we get to hold leading this company.
Yeah. I think at times I have, tried to make sure we don't. There's no meaning that we're trying to convey as if we're in some kind of an elevated position or posture in the way that certainly Athena Polias was. We really want to be catalytic in what we do. We want to breathe life into dead places.
Yes.
And we hopefully do it in an honoring way.
Yes.
In a way that inspires change around us because, at the end of the day, we'll never be a big enough lever of our own accord to be able to bring the kind of change that we'd like to see to our city. We want to be inspirational and hopefully bring with it a bigger lever of everybody coming alongside some of what we're doing and trying to make things better.
Yeah, something I love that you always say is that if we do our job right, then all ships will rise with the tide. Yeah. And I think that leaves this city and this market way better than when we found it. You 30 years ago, me a little less than 20 years ago, and I'm just thankful that we get to be here doing this work in this city at this time.
And we often get called Polaris. We're not Polaris.
We are not Polaris. We are not off-road vehicles, although those are fun, and I would drive one right now.
And, I often call you Paulius.
Which I am changing my name officially to. It means humble city patron. So Paulius is going to be my new name.
Well, for Christmas, I'm going to get you a spear, a breastplate, a helmet, and a
Polaris. Amen.
Yes.
See ya.
Here endeth the lesson.
You heard it first. He is now bound by that oath. All right. Well, what's in a name? We're going to continue on with these podcasts bi-weekly, and we can't wait to follow along. And I think all of this will get cut out because there's an outro. Sweet. Hey, thanks again for tuning in to the Polaris podcast. We hope that somehow, some way, your day was made just a little bit brighter by the content that you just heard. And we hope that you have an incredible rest of your day. We'll see you next time.